Well, good evening, fellow YouTubers of the world, and welcome to another episode of the Arizona Podcast Seminar, starring your host, Mr. Arizona. It is now 11:15 in the evening on Monday, January 1st, 2024. Excuse me. It's kind of hard to adjust when you're so used to saying the same thing repetitiously over and over and over again. It's funny about the funny thing is about change, about conforming from coming from one state of being to another state of being. It's actually quite interesting. Some of us can accept change, and some of us can't because the mindset is refusing to let go. So therefore, they remain stuck in the same rut, in the same scenario, over and over and over again. It's like a record player that loops itself over and over and over because somehow the mind is refusing to let go due to maybe a tragic event or something else that's preventing the mindset and everything else to move on. So therefore you're trapped in that particular scenario, that particular mindset. Meanwhile, things change, people think change, all of that good thing, but your mindset remains the same because your mind thinks differently. Like, for instance, we've just turned into 2024. But a lot of you out there, your mind is probably stuck still in maybe in 2023 due to maybe unfinished business, something that was not done right or not said right or not accomplished. And so therefore you carry that on your back. And think about this. It's like a man carrying rocks. You can only carry a certain amount of rocks on your back before your back breaks, before you become hunched over. And the more rocks you carry, the heavier the burden. Sooner or later, it's going to get to the point to where you say, I can't go any further. And people ask why. Because I'm carrying too much. And then that's when there's always that inner voice that comes in and says, why don't you just set your rocks down, take a break and rest yourself. But then the mind kicks in and says, no, you can't do that. Your mind is refusing to let you rest. The mind is refusing to let you set the rocks down and be content and achieve your Zen. Because you yourself is stuck in the same repeated cycle over and over and over. Because you yourself refuse to let go. And that is the problem with today's society, is that we hold on to these grudges, we hold on to these problems that we have. And we need to learn to just let them go, let them be. Because sometimes in life happens regardless of whether you're there or not, whether you're present in the scenario or not. Life will still keep going. As I stated before, the earth keeps rolling, seasons keep changing, suns keeps rising and falling, day turns into night, night turns into day, etc., etc., etc. Life still goes on. Whether you're there to witness it or not. So therefore, what's the point of carrying all this extra burden when you don't need it? All you have to do is let it go. And you would witness a huge weight that has been lifted from your back. And then, instead of being hunched over, carrying all those heavy rocks, carrying all those heavy burdens, you're able to walk straight again. And breathe in a sigh of relief, thinking, I've gotten rid of the problem because I let it go. I released it and I'm free of it. But now here is what I want to stress. What I want to stress about talking about now. Now, failure to deal with problems. Have you heard of the old saying goes, history tends to repeat itself? That means if you've left something in your past or that has been unfinished or unresolved, that problem is still there. Whether you choose to ignore it or not, it's still there. And it has to be dealt with. Has to be faced. sooner or later. Because if you don't deal with it and you don't face it, wherever you go, wherever you look, the problem will be right there in front of you, saying, deal with me. And the longer you wait, the harder the problem is to deal with. That's why it's best with most life problems to confront them and solve them right away before they become more increasingly complicated. And that's what I myself am slowly learning through time and through experience. Now, as I've stated previously, time and time again, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. I'm not the world's most perfect person. I'm not sitting here on a pedestal thinking that I'm above everybody else. No. But then again, I'm not struggling to be, I'm not digging to be below everyone either. I'm right at eye level as what's needed to be. Excuse me, my voice is kind of a bit strained. Hold on a minute. That's a little better. See, I've learned one thing as well, which is a pretty commonality in life. For every action, there was an equal and opposite reaction. For everything we put out into the universe always echoes back to the source, like waves in an ocean, or like movement in a gentle breeze. Because think about it. The wind blows in one direction one day, and then next thing you know, it changes direction and it's blowing in another direction. Completely the opposite at most times. So therefore, whatever garbage or whatever stuff that has been put out gets blown right back to the source. And that is why we all must be mindful of what we put out into this universe. Because what we put out always comes back in the end. Everything we say, everything we do always comes back. It's just, I'd say it's probably cause and effect, so to speak. You know, it's just like I'm going to say this in a scenario, a set of dominoes. You set up a set of dominoes in a certain way, and when one domino falls, the next one follows suit, and so on and so on and so on. Which is which is actually quite interesting. That's why we all, as people of the entire world, we are always taught to be mindful of what we say and do on this platform. Because what we say and do can and will come back to us in the long run, sooner or later. You see. um, have you ever seen and this is kind of a off topic damn, this is kind of a off topic example. Damn. Like a snake shading its skin. It has its old skin, rubs itself up against a rock, and sheds its old skin so its new skin can appear. And therefore, by the time the snake is done, there's nothing left but an empty husk of what once was. See, creatures of that nature have the ability to leave the past behind them. And here's the benefit of leaving that behind. Think about it. You leave it behind, and everything's new. Everything's fresh. Everything's clean. Everything's crisp. Pristine, so to speak. It's quite interesting when you think about it. You know what I find amazing is the cycle of a tree in the forest, actually. You take any tree, put it in the ground, plant it in the ground, and it has the ability to lie dormant for days, months. Damn. Fucking hey, I got a little bit of acid on the back of my throat, and it's burning. Damn. It's right on the tip of my esophagus, and it's burning like hell. It's making it barely talk where I can barely talk. That sucks. Owie, this hurts. Hold on, I'm gonna try and drink some milk or something to kind of kind of settle this down, man. It's starting to burn. It's burning the back of my throat, dude. It's hurting. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck happened. I just had like a little bit of that a little bit of that acid reflux. Oh. And it got to the point to where a bit of my stomach acid splashed up on the back of my esophagus. And boy, oh howdy is it burning. Kind of keeping me from talking and concentrating right. Damn. God, it feels like I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna have to end this, dude. I feel like I'm gonna puke. So you guys take care. What's love, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.